The Shelby family system. The Shelby family started with nothing. Their father left. Their mother died. 4 children and a cousin grew up in the worst part of Birmingham, with the understanding that the world was not going to take care of them. Then a war took the men and sent them back with damage that had no name in 1919, and still barely has one now. Out of that, they built an empire. The war didn't end when they came home.
1 minute. The soldier's minute. In a battle, that's all you get.
And here's what this is actually about. Not the empire, not the enemies. The Italians, the Russians, the fascists, the police, those were complications. The real story is what the empire did to the family that built it. How the structure they created to survive required each of them to become a specific version of themselves, and how staying that version for long enough consumed the rest. By the end of 6 seasons, the empire is standing. Most of the family isn't. That's not a tragedy about bad luck or powerful enemies. That's a story about what happens when love becomes architecture. 4 things: what the empire was built from, how each person was assigned a role, how love became the mechanism that held them there, and what the cost finally looked like. Section 1. Wound Foundation. There's a specific dynamic in the Shelby family that runs through the entire show. And by the end of this, you'll understand it differently. The standard reading is ambition, power, money, control. But underneath it is something else. Tommy Shelby came back from France a different person than the one who left. So did Arthur. So did John. They came back with shell shock, with experiences that broke something in them, and with a shared understanding. The institutions of the world had sent them to die for something that did not serve them. The empire was not built from ambition. It was built from this: we cannot trust anyone outside this family to protect us, so we will protect ourselves, whatever that requires. The father leaving made the first wound. The war made it permanent. This is the wound foundation. And the thing about a wound foundation is this: it never fully heals. Because the structure isn't just a business, it is a response to pain. And as long as the pain is active, the structure has a reason to keep expanding. Stop the structure, and you're left alone with what it was built to avoid. So you keep building.
He says you wanted men called Shelby. You got 3 of them.
Right, I never heard of you. And then I did hear of you, some little diddy-coy razor gang. I thought to myself, so what?
The empire grows. The wound stays. They didn't build because they wanted power. They built because the alternative was feeling what happened to them. The empire was built to survive the wound. Section 2. Role lock. Every family has a system. Roles form over time, not chosen, assigned through repetition. The Shelby family ran this at extreme intensity. Tommy, the one who decides. Arthur, the one who goes. Polly, the one who sees. Ada, the one who watches from the outside. Nobody leaves, and over time, each role becomes a cage.
Let me tell you something. Any man, any fucking man, looked like this before. The Peaky Blinder. Peaky Blinder still looks like this. After.
Tommy doesn't just lead the family. He becomes the person who must always see 3 steps ahead. Arthur doesn't just protect the family. He becomes the weapon they keep returning to. Polly doesn't just advise. She becomes the conscience trapped inside what she can no longer leave. Ada survives by refusing full absorption, and the system keeps reinforcing it. Whenever someone tries to become something else, the system pulls them back, not through force, through need. Arthur tries to leave. Then he is needed again. Tommy tries to stop. Then something breaks that only he can fix. The role that saved them becomes the thing that holds them in place.
Who do you think I am? What do you think I am, Tommy, eh? You think I'm a...
Right, boys,
Yep.
Oh, shut.
Come on.
You think?
Have a good night.
Oh, it's say it.
One moment. That's it.
Keep walking.
Nice.
You nosy bastard.
And every return makes the role harder to escape. The role that saved you becomes the cage. Section 3. Loyalty Trap. The Shelby family love is real. That's important. Arthur's loyalty to Tommy is real. Polly's protection of the family is real. Ada's return again and again is real. This is not manipulation in the simple sense. It is something more complicated, because the love and the cost run through the same channel. Tommy doesn't force Arthur to go. He asks. Arthur goes because the love is real, because the family needs him, because saying no feels like abandonment, and so he goes, again and again. Polly stays not because she doesn't see the cost. She sees it clearly. She stays because leaving means abandoning the people she loves to what remains. This is the trap. Not deception, not coercion, but genuine love inside a structure that depends on it.
We're moving up, Paul.
You cannot separate them. You can only recognize that both are true at once, and still, people stay. Because the alternative is leaving the people they love inside the system without them. The love was real. So was the leash. Section 4. The Bill. In Season 1, the Shelby family is whole. Tommy, Arthur, John, Ada, Polly, a system still intact. Now count what remains by the end. John is gone. Freddie is gone. Grace is gone. Polly is gone. Michael is broken from the inside out. Arthur is still here, but not intact. Tommy remains at the center of an empire that has won every external fight. This is the Bill. The Shelby Empire defeated every external enemy it faced, but it never accounted for what it was costing its own people. Because stopping to count would have meant feeling it. And feeling it would have meant confronting why they built it in the first place. So they kept going.
That is not. There's a third thing. I just killed 2 of them. Ripped out their hearts and burnt their bones to ash.
And the cost accumulated in silence. Until there was nothing left to ignore, they won every battle. But the system quietly collected its debt. They won. Look what it cost. Section 5. Where the system breaks. The system does not collapse from outside pressure. It collapses when the inside can no longer sustain it. By Season 5 and 6, the fractures are visible. The roles no longer hold cleanly. The loyalty no longer functions the same way. The system is still powerful, but the people inside it are not stable anymore. Michael no longer accepts the role assigned to him. Arthur continues, but without recovery. Polly sees it clearly and names it. Tommy continues anyway, because stopping was never part of the design. And so the system runs past its limit, not because it was attacked, but because the people inside it ran out. Section 6. What this tells us. Most people watch this story and identify with Tommy, but the more honest identification is Arthur. Think about your own systems, your family, your work, your closest group of people. Ask, what was this built to survive? What role do I occupy in it? What happens when I try to change that role? And is love part of what keeps me there, not as manipulation?
None of you will survive. It's called vendetta.
Yeah, well. The bullet's been written.
But as obligation that feels indistinguishable from care. And finally, what is the cost of this system over time? Not what it achieves, what it takes. Because most systems don't fail from enemies. They fail from exhaustion. Conclusion. The Shelby family built an empire from survival, from war, from loss, from abandonment, from love. And that love held everything together and held everything in place, until the cost became too large to ignore. Tommy built the empire. Arthur held it together. Polly gave it clarity. Ada survived it, and the empire remained. But the question was never whether it would stand. The question was what it would cost the people who built it, and whether anyone would ever count it in time.